Welcome to another week, which starts out with a self-organized reading circle. So 2 or 3 of us grad students in our cohort thought, yes, we have to continue this Monday seminar that we had where we were just talking about what we have achieved in the last week and what we want to achieve in the next week, and it's gonna happen. Welcome to another week. Again. What happened? Well, in the last week I basically just always did the same thing as I already did in the week before. That is writing on my proposal and writing code for my tracking program. I made great progress, but it always looked the same and it was kind of boring. This week I will continue. Come on, shut up. With basically the same. Besides that, I'm also upgrading my skateboard because my trucks and everything around that is now about 8 years old, and so my bolts or screws were kept on loosening, which is suboptimal, and also my bushings or steering rubbers had kind of a memory effect, which is also not ideal. Yeah, setting up a new skateboard is always fun. Alright, after another, I think 7 or 8 hours of running the code, it is done, and I will just walk you through what I'm doing actually with this program and with this code. In the last 2 weeks I have mainly coded on how to get rid of noise in the trackings, and I'll just show you. Okay, so this is the first part of the code, and I worked on making it a little bit more user-friendly, commenting a lot, and then just hit enter and this runs for 7 to 9 or 12 hours. What you get is then this first plot of the very raw material. So that is everything that this program has identified as a particle, or in my case as an ant. And so you can see that here is a lot of noise on the sides, and this is what I want to get rid of. Also here, this is the nest area, so obviously there are a lot of ants being detected in there. But I don't really need that information, so I have to get rid of this. For 2 hours or so yesterday I was just deleting all of this noise, slowly getting to an automated version so that the computer itself knows what is noise and what not. The first step is then to delete all the rows in the list that this plot is being made from, that correspond to this noise, so that are in this case greater than 2000 pixels and 3500 or 600 pixels. I have written code for that, and then to go from there. I'm again in my experimental room, not because I want to do experiments. I'm still, working on just analyzing the first 3 trials that I did. No, but I have to rectify some things. Because for the ortho rectification and stitching together of the images or video streams of the 4 cameras, we have to do something, lay down some marks on the floor so that the computer can automatically do that, with some AI and computer vision. And Zishan from Novatur Research is doing that and collaborating with us on that. And therefore I laid down these posters from former lab members, just to give a lot of contrast and a lot of features in the 4 frames so that the computer can automatically connect those and stitch the videos together. And it's incredibly difficult to do it perfectly, so I'm gonna lay out some more and remove some glare and do this again. I've been trying to do this right for the last 2 weeks or so, and every time I think I got it perfectly, there's another thing that I did imperfectly. So my goal for the future is that at some point I will just have to do this once and then fix the cameras, like glue them to this PVC structure, and then I will never ever have to do this again. And also on that note, in about 30 minutes I will meet up with Blue, one of our helpful undergrads, who is also going to try to track his ants in his videos with my code, with my method. And he's looking at 2 colonies, or what they are doing when they are facing each other, because usually they just have some warfare. In any case, I'm pretty excited that I can now kind of multiply the fruits of my effort, because my tracker is working and it has been a lot of effort, as you may have realized if you are following this vlog. And yeah, now it's just really cool to see that other people might be benefiting from that. Showing somebody else how my code works and how to work with it is also a really good opportunity for me to make better comments or make the code easier to read for other people, and also for my future self, of course. Alright, let's try it out. Then I also delete the noise that is coming from the ants walking inside the nest that I also don't want. And then I let the program run the actual tracking. That means I connect the dots to some paths or trajectories. Then I still have a lot of noise left, which I kind of wanted to get rid of in a pretty automated way, because there are maybe 5,000 or so trajectories that have been identified as potential ant tracks, and I cannot manually go through all of them. What I came up with is calculating the hulls, so basically how big the area is that these tracks circumscribe, and yeah, then defining a lower threshold, because if it's just a dust particle laying somewhere for the whole 2 hours, then it's not going to move at all, and this area is going to be really small. Whereas a usual ant track that goes like, you know, 4 meters maybe. I have coded that sometime last week, and it works pretty well, but there is still some noise left that looks a little bit more like a track, and I am trying to find a solution maybe to make also this automatically, to basically teach the program what is an ant track and what is just noise. But yeah, I'll have to think about that a little bit more. For now, I will do the next step of noise deletion kind of manually. Alright, a few hours and a bit of skating later, I come back to this code. I am now in the stage of having this beautiful thing here, which is a 3-dimensional plot of all my ant tracks. And the 3rd dimension, or what is going up here, the y-axis, that is time, and the colors stand for individual ants. What I can do with this is now here see this last bit of noise, and then yeah, this is done, and this is the beautiful data result that I then have and can analyze. Yeah, then I run some more code which automatically makes some calculations about the tracks, and then I'm done. On to the next one. So this is only from one single camera. I have to do this for 4 cameras and then somehow stitch this together until I have 1 track. So yeah, in total this takes about like 4 days or so, or even more. I forgot something. Of course, it's not that easy and simple. If you compare this plot of everything that has been identified as a particle or an ant with this plot, which is basically the finalized version of the ant tracks that are left, then you may notice that maybe here this track just stops, while in the raw data this track continues. And of course I want to have the complete tracks. So these are the kind of tracks that I need to still recover by setting this parameter higher. But if I do that, I get a foolish error. So my workaround for that was to first clean like most of the noise that I see, and then let this tracker run again, so that there are not as many points to compare. Yeah, but still, now that I'm trying to just increase that threshold, I get another error, and maybe I'll have to dig into that a little bit more, and until then I just have to try out things. It still somehow feels like I'm making progress every day, but I'm just not getting closer to the goal. I don't know, but you know, in about 4 weeks I will have to have finished this poster that I will present at this big international conference for social insect researchers. And yeah, I did not plan on making a poster about this is what I want to do, and in principle this works, but I actually want to show data. Fingers crossed. On an unrelated note, yesterday was World Asteroid Day, and this is why over this weekend the University Space Center opens its doors to the public to teach us something about those space rocks. Just kidding. The news email that we got about that was misinformational. Yeah, it was only open, or the event was only there yesterday at the actual asteroid day. So what you just saw was the normal mineralogical museum and just space museum that is always open. So yeah, I just took the opportunity to see that, which I wanted to do for a long time anyway. Yeah, space is a pretty big deal here, since also the astronomy department of the University of Arizona is among the top in the world of its kind. They also frequently collaborate with NASA and send missions into space. And why Asteroid Day yesterday was such a big deal is because the University of Arizona has discovered half of the currently known asteroids that are flying around us. And they also started this mission OSIRIS-REx, which will probe an asteroid that is flying nearby the Earth in 2023 or so. Yeah, and it will probe and bring back some of this material. Yeah, so this could be the start of asteroid mining. I'm already saving up a little bit of money to invest into asteroid mining by then. I hope that you enjoyed this week and explaining what I do exactly with the code or in my experiments, because this will always be the same basically for all of my experiments. Just what I'm doing on the canvas, basically on the paper. In the arena that will be different, and so there. This is basically half of my life now. Next week I hope that I will get a little bit further and can move on past that and maybe even do something else. Until then, see you next week.